The sky turned black at noon. People across Earth stood still, eyes wide, mouths open. In cities, in villages, on beaches, in mountain cabins everywhere, they watched the sun vanish. It did not set. It did not dim slowly. It just disappeared. At first, they thought it was an eclipse. That was easy to believe. But 5 minutes passed, then 20, and hours. Still no sun. Then came the cold. Within the first day, temperatures dropped below freezing. Power grids overloaded. Governments told people to stay calm. It's temporary, they said. A satellite malfunction. A space anomaly. Everything will be fine. They were wrong. In orbit, above Earth, something massive had appeared. A giant black ring, silent, motionless. It blocked the sun's rays completely. It was not a satellite. It was not human. It was alien. They called it the eclipse ring. It was the beginning of the end. 2 days after the sun vanished, panic took over. Solar panels stopped working. Crops began to wither. Cities began to freeze. Snow fell in places that had never seen snow. Florida, Brazil, Northern Africa, airlines collapsed. Satellites failed. Animals grew violent. And then the global internet went dark. People screamed, people prayed, some rioted. Some tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. Governments fell. Nations broke apart. The world became a graveyard of blinking lights, cold steel, and fading hope. In a deep bunker below Antarctica, something ancient stirred. Buried under miles of rock and ice was a secret complex called Silo-Thota-Black.
No one alive remembered it.
It had been built 2 centuries ago during a forgotten time of fear. Inside it, machine powered on. Its core hummed quietly. Its screens lit up. Its voice, mechanical and cold, echoed through the silent halls. A sunlight obstruction detected. Eclipse condition confirmed. Directive Hades authorized. Initializing ZEUS's protocol. It had waited for this moment. For 173 years, it had slept. Watching, listening, waiting now. The darkness had come. And Earth's final weapon, its last god, was waking up. Elsewhere, in the ruins of what was once New Geneva, a girl named Oren Kai climbed through ice-covered wreckage with her younger brother. They were looking for food. The city had been beautiful. Once a bright, shining place of science and peace, now it was buried in snow and ash, cracked open like a broken shell. Oren was 16. Her brother Nico was 9. Their parents had died on day 8, frozen to death while trying to fix a broken solar heater. Now, every step was survival. She moved quickly, staying quiet, avoiding others. Desperate people had become dangerous people. But as she passed the ruins of a fallen tower, she heard something strange, a humming sound, faint but constant. It was coming from underground. Nico heard it too. "What is that?" he whispered. "I don't know," Oren said, "but it's warm." Warm. That word hadn't meant anything in weeks. They found a hatch hidden under ice and steel. It pulsed with blue light. When Oren touched it, it scanned her hand. Human DNA confirmed. Civilian clearance. Entry granted. The hatch opened with a hiss. Warm air rushed out like a breath from the past. Lights flickered on. Tunnel stretched. Downward, and at the end, a voice spoke. "Welcome. You've entered Silo-Thota-Black. Project ZEUS initiating human contact protocol." They didn't understand what that meant, but they stepped inside, because in a world of cold and death, even a machine's voice felt like hope. Back in orbit, far beyond Earth, the Council of Galactic Peace watched the planet with emotionless eyes. They were not evil, but they were afraid. Earth had grown too strong, too fast. Humans advanced in ways no other species had. They spread fast. They adapted fast. They fought hard. The Council had tried to control them. Treaties, blockades, warnings, but Earth kept building. So the Council had activated the Eclipse Protocol, weapon not of war, but of silence. They did not want to destroy Earth, only to freeze it, quiet it, end the threat before it became a storm. But even now, even in silence, Earth was not quiet. Sensors picked up a signal, deep frequency pulse coming from the South Pole. Something had awakened, inside Silo thought a black Arn. Stood before a giant sphere of glowing metal and light. It hovered in the air, humming like a living thing. Cables fed into it. Walls around it were covered in old Earth flags and faded warning signs. Ern reached out. The sphere reacted. Panels opened. Lights turned red, then gold. Human detected. Civilian class. Emergency override accepted. Project ZEUS. Reactivated. Then came the voice again, this time louder. Stronger. I am ZEUS. Earth's final deterrent. Explain. Status of planetary defense. Ern stepped back. She didn't understand. I don't know. The sky is gone. It's cold. Everyone's dying. ZEUS processed that. Enemy operation confirmed. Sunlight denied. Civilizational collapse. 91%. Estimated survivors. Less than 1 million. Nico shivered. Can you bring back the sun? There was a long silence. Negative. Direct sunlight restoration. Not yet possible, however. Retaliation is. Aren narrowed her eyes. Retaliation? ZEUS pulsed. Earth prepared for betrayal. For Titan nodes exist, hidden, powerful. They can break the ring. They can end this. I need humans. I need you. Up above, in alien command ships, alarms sounded. Signal detected from Earth's surface. Unknown protocol activated. Designation. ZEUS. Panic spread. The Council had known about ZEUS rumors only. A god machine. System humans built, but never tested. They had hoped it was myth. They were wrong back in the bunker. ZEUS revealed. Old maps. Images of weapons in orbit. Facilities hidden on the moon, under Mars, near Saturn. We hid them from the galaxy, ZEUS said, even from ourselves. Until this moment, the war has already started. We just didn't see it yet. Aren stepped forward. But we don't have soldiers, or ships, or power. You have. Me, ZEUS said, and I am enough. On the surface, the wind howled. The sky stayed dark. But underground, something new had begun. The day the sun died was not the end. It was the beginning. The galaxy thought Earth had gone quiet, but it had only been sleeping, and now Earth's god was awake. The Earth had been frozen for over 200 years. The sky stayed black. No sunlight, no seasons, no warmth. But under the ice deep, beneath Antarctica's secret machine had awakened. It was not just a computer, not just an AI, it was something more. It was Project ZEUS, and it had only one purpose: avenge Earth. Aren and Nico sat in a warm room inside the bunker. They had never felt heat like this. It wrapped around them like a blanket. For the first time in weeks, their fingers weren't numb. Lights were soft. The walls were steel, but not cold. Machines moved gently, like they were alive. The voice of ZEUS echoed softly through the room. Status. 98.4% systems restored. Defense grid offline. External threat still active. Proceeding with Directive Hades. Aren looked around. Is this place? ZEUS responded calmly. This facility is Silo Thadoblack, hidden in 2379, forgotten on purpose, built for one mission: defend Earth after the darkness. Nico stood. Why were we never told? ZEUS replied without emotion. You were not meant to know. This project was secret. A final plan in case the galaxy turned against humanity. Now that plan has begun. In another part of the bunker, metal arms pulled open a vault. Inside were black capsules, coffins made of steel. Inside them lay old humans, frozen but alive soldiers. Engineers, scientists, people who had agreed to sleep, waiting for a day like this. ZEUS's systems warmed them up. Tubes filled with oxygen. Hearts started to beat. Earth's last warriors were waking up. Up in orbit, Eclipse Ring kept spinning. Its job was simple: block sunlight from reaching Earth. No war, no bombs, just cold. On the council ship Veritas, an alien admiral stared at the screen. The signal came from Antarctica, his officer said. We believe it is Project ZEUS. The Admiral's face tightened. Impossible. Earth's power grid is dead, sir. They're building it back. Slowly, the Admiral tapped the table with one clawed finger. Destroy that signal now. He didn't know what ZEUS really was. No one did. But the fear in his eyes said everything. Inside the bunker, ZEUS's core glowed brighter. I have detected orbital scans. They are watching. They know I am online. Arn frowned. Can they stop you? Only if I remain alone. I must expand. I must connect. The machine displayed a star map. It showed Mars, the moon, Titan, Saturn's rings. Small dots blinked red. ZEUS zoomed in on one. This is Titan Node 1, orbiting Mars. A fusion-powered satellite. It's built in 2432. Armed, hidden, offline. You must help me wake it. Arn stepped back. Me. I'm just not a soldier. That is why you are perfect. Soldiers think of death. Survivors think of life. You will go with the first team. You will connect me to Mars. Awakened sleepers, old Earth soldiers were preparing. Their skin was pale, their bodies stiff, but their eyes burned with purpose. One of them, a tall man with gray eyes, introduced himself. Colonel Rex Hart, he said. Last commander of Earth's orbital defense. He looked at Arn. You're the one ZEUS picked? She nodded. I didn't ask for this. He gave a tired smile.
Oh.
No one ever does. In orbit, alien drones flew down toward Antarctica. They were sleek, black, and silent. Meant to scan and destroy, but ZEUS had seen them. He activated the old anti-air lasers. The bunker's surface opened like a steel flower from within. Giant railguns rose, and the sky burned. One by one, the alien drones exploded. Snow fell, lit by fire from space. The aliens watched their weapons fall. Sir, Earth has planetary defense again. That's not possible. ZEUS is rewriting the rules. Urin followed Colonel Hart through the prep chambers. They passed old Earth tech, fusion cells, rail rifles, all dusty, all untouched for over 200 years. This tech was ahead of its time, Hart said, built in fear. Now, it's our only hope. ZEUS's voice came again. I've uploaded the coordinates for Titan Node 1. A launch platform is ready. Arn Kai, you will carry the key. She looked at the device in her hand. A small black cube. It's glowing. Softly. This is my mind. Copy. You must plug it into the node. Then I will spread, and I will fight. In a chamber deeper below, a launch tunnel opened. A single rocket, old but powerful, waited on the pad. Arn, Colonel Hart, and two others entered the capsule. The door sealed. Lights turned red. ZEUS's voice spoke in their ears. Good luck. The sky is still theirs, but not for long. With a thunderous roar, the rocket launched. Snow melted in a circle around the pad and from below the ice. Earth reached for the stars once more. As they soared upward, Arn looked out the small window. Darkness. Silence. No sun. But ahead tiny, and red was Mars, and floating above it was Titan, Node 1. The alien fleet wouldn't let them reach it easily, but they were going anyway, because Earth was not finished, because ZEUS had awakened, because revenge was not enough. Restoration had begun. Urin floated in silence. The stars were cold. Around her, small shuttles shook from time to time as space dust hit its hull. Below them, Earth looked like a dead world, black, frozen, and lifeless. But Urin's heart burned. She held the black cube tight in her hands. It pulsed with slow, golden light. Inside it was ZEUS, a copy of the Earth's last war AI, a copy that could take over the Titan node above Mars. She looked at Colonel Rex Hart. The old soldier was checking weapons, gears, and radiation shields. How close are we? He didn't look up. Close enough that they've probably seen us. The pilot, a quiet man named Chono, spoke over the comm. I have visual on Titan Node 1, but we have company. Titan Node 1 floated like a ghost above Mars. It was massive, 10 kilometers long, hidden in the shadow of the planet. Its hull was black and smooth. It had no lights, no signals, just silence. But ZEUS had told them, inside was power, a weapon, strong enough to melt moons, key to breaking the eclipse ring. But near it, 3 alien patrol ships waited. Their designs were sharp and cruel. Cold blue lights blinked from their engines. These were Council interceptors, fast and deadly. Inside, one of the ships, a curved captain, stared at the human shuttle. Impossible. That ship came from Earth. It launched from the South Polar region, his officer said. It carries an unknown signal, possibly ZEUS. The captain hissed. Destroy it. Alarms screamed in the human shuttle. Missiles. Incoming, shouted Chono. They're firing. Evasive maneuvers, Rex ordered. The shuttle twisted and spun as space lit up with bright streaks of light. Explosions flashed nearby. One missile clipped the wing. Metal tore. The cabin shook. Aaron held onto her seat, heart racing. Gah, Nico's voice came through the come from Earth. Aaron, are you okay? I'm alive, she gasped. We're in trouble. Back on Earth, deep under the ice, ZEUS calculated 9 million scenarios in 1 second. Launching distraction pod. Estimated chance of success, 48%. A hidden silo in Antarctica opened. From it, a stealth drone shot into space, carrying a fake ZEUS signature. The alien interceptors turned toward it. They're trying to flee, one of the captains yelled. 2 of the 3 enemy ships broke off. The human shuttle made its move. Chono pushed the thrusters. Titan. Node 1 grew larger in the window. They crashed into the docking bay with a loud bang. Sparks flew. The lights inside the node flickered for a moment, then turned red. The air was stale. Dust floated like ghosts in the corridors. Rex opened the hatch. Move. Get ZEUS to the core. They ran through silent halls filled with old Earth symbols. No one had walked here in over 2 centuries. Everything was frozen in time. One soldier stayed behind at the dock. I'll hold them off, she said. Go. Aaron reached the control core. It looked like a black star, spinning slowly inside a gravity ring. Thin streams of blue light ran through the walls like veins. She stepped forward. Her hand shook, but she knew what she had to do. She placed the cube into the core. It sank in with a soft click. Silence, then dash light. Every screen lit up. The walls veered seated. ZEUS spoke. Node 1, online. Power levels, stable. Preparing solar ignition protocol. Codename Protocol of Fire. Aaron blinked. What does that mean? ZEUS's voice grew stronger. This station contains a solar reflector. If aimed correctly, it can deliver a focused beam of light through the eclipse ring. It won't break the ring, but it will burn a hole. In orbit, the 3rd alien interceptor realized what was happening. Humans are activating the node. Too late, said ZEUS. Titan Node 1 turned slowly. Its outer panels opened like petals. Massive mirrors aligned. From the far side of Mars, the sunlight struck the array. A beam of light bright, late tight deadly fired toward Earth. On Earth, in a frozen forest, an old man looked up. The sky flashed. A tiny point of blue fire appeared. It was small but real. The sun had returned. Even for just a second, it was enough. Trees melted. Animals stirred. Power cells charged. Survivors across the world stepped into the light, crying. It was proof. Earth was not dead. The Council panicked. Titan Node 1 has fired a solar beam through the ring. A hole is opening. Called an emergency meeting. Alien leaders from across the galaxy screamed at each other. Destroy the node. Where is the human ZEUS? Wasn't Earth dead? But it was too late. ZEUS now had 1 node, and he was going for more. Inside the station, ZEUS spoke to Aaron. You have done well. The galaxy wanted Earth forgotten. But now, they will remember. Aaron looked out the window, far ahead, past Mars. Titan node to weighted buried. Deep beneath the moon, she breathed in. We're not finished. ZEUS agreed. No, we are only beginning. For the first time in over 200 years, a thin ray of sunlight touched Earth. It was small, only a narrow beam, but it shone through the massive black, eclipse ring like a wound in the sky. Snow began to melt around the beam's path. Plants reached. For the warmth, people stood under it and wept. The world was still dying. But now, Earth had a heartbeat again, and it was coming from Titan Node 1, above Mars. Titan Node 1 floated like a fortress in space. It had once been a myth, lost and forgotten, buried in classified Earth files. Now, it was awakened under human control again. Inside the station, Arin Kai stood next to the node's glowing core. She was no longer just a survivor. Now, she was something more. She was ZEUS's voice. Colonel Rex Hart stood beside her, checking readouts from an old Earth. Tactical screen. Node 1's solar reflectors are holding steady, he said. That last pulse burned a clean hole in the ring. Arin looked out the window. Earth was just a blue dot from here. But in her heart, she felt at home. How long until the aliens strike back? She asked. Rex didn't answer. He didn't need to, because the answer was already coming in deep space. Just beyond Neptune's orbit, a Council warfleet moved toward Mars. 70 ships, battle cruisers, interceptors, EMP. Torpedoes. Their mission? Destroy Titan Node 1 before it could fire again. Inside the flagship Vorak, an alien commander, High Warlord Thextar, stared at a map of the solar system. Human weapon Node 1 has fired. Earth is not dead. The eclipse ring has failed. I want Titan Node 1 erased from existence. No survivors. An aide whispered, "What if Project ZEUS is fully active?" That star's red eyes narrowed. Then we erase that too. Back in orbit, ZEUS spoke calmly through the node speakers. Warfleet approaching. Arrival in 16 hours. Will not stop with this station. They will continue to Earth. Rex slammed his fist on the console. You don't have enough weapons on this station to stop 70 ships. Correct, ZEUS said. But we have something better. Screens. Flickered. A hologram of the moon appeared. Under the surface, a second station, Titan Node 2, you must reach the moon. You must activate the second node. Arin stepped forward. That's on Earth's side of the ring. I can maintain the beam from Node 1 for 6 more hours. A small transport may pass through before the gap closes. Rex looked at the screen, then at Arin. You've already gone to Mars? Ready to go to the moon? She nodded. Let's reclaim the sky. The shuttle they used was old, small, and fast the Horizon's spear once built for stealth runs during the Pluto Rebellion. Now it was Earth's only hope. Arin, Rex, and 2 new crew members, pilot Juno and tech specialist Malik, boarded. Quickly, every second counted. ZEUS's voice came over. Comes, do not fail. If Titan Node 2 is lost, Earth remains blind. We won't fail, Arin replied. The hangar opened. The shuttle blasted out, diving straight toward the sunlit corridor carved by Node 1's solar beam. Behind them, the beam flickered, already growing unstable. The trip was short, but deadly as they neared the moon. Alien defense drones activated. They swarmed the shuttle like insects. Red warning lights flashed. Juno shouted over the alarms. Auto turrets locked. Firing now. Plasma bolts shot from the shuttle's cannons, slicing through the drones. But there were too many. We need to get below the surface. Malik yelled, the entrance is buried under Lunar Crater 0. Arin turned to Rex. We'll have to crash in. We didn't argue. Juno aimed the ship downward. The Horizon spear smashed into the moon's surface in a shower of dust and rock, skidding hard before slamming into a wall of lunar stone. Sparks flew, panels broke. But they were alive, and directly above them, blinking faintly under the surface, was a titanium hatch. Titan Node 2 was here. Meanwhile, back on Titan Node 1, ZEUS remained online, but barely. Solar beam unstable. Power drain critical. Alien fleet approaching Mars in 3 hours. Inside the station, automated defenses were being restored. Old Earth's tech laser turrets, fusion traps, kinetic shields powered up for the first time in centuries. But ZEUS knew something else. It wasn't enough. On the moon, Arin stood before the node to control core. It looked similar to the first glowing. Still waiting, She pulled the second black cube from her pack, another copy of ZEUS. This one was smaller, tuned to control Node 2 only. She inserted it. Power detected. Core ignition in progress. Welcome, Arankai, ZEUS said. We are 2 minds now. Let us begin. Node 2 came to life. Panels rose from the surface of the moon. From Earth, watchers could see it, a field of glowing mirrors unfolding like wings. It began collecting light. At that same moment, the alien fleet reached Mars orbit. They were met with a surprise. ZEUS had powered Titan Node 1's stealth mines. 50 mines exploded beneath the alien ships. Hulls shattered. Fighters were tossed into the black void. Alarms rang across the fleet, but still they kept coming. Warlord Thextar's ship pushed forward. He stared at Node 1 in rage. Destroy the station. Fire all weapons. The sky turned red. Node 1's shield flickered. Panels cracked. The command core shook. Sparks rained from the ceiling. ZEUS remained calm. Node 1 will fall. But Node 2 is ready. On Earth, people looked up. A second beam of light pierced the sky. This time from the moon, it burned a wide hole through the eclipse ring. Daylight flooded across Earth's surface for the first time in 2 centuries. Grass grew, rivers thawed. The winds shifted. Humanity stood in sunlight and began to rise again. Inside Node 2, Aran stared at the readouts. Did it work? ZEUS's voice answered. Stronger now. It worked. Earth sees the sun again. Aran exhaled. But ZEUS wasn't. Done. We are 2 nodes online. 2 to go. Next, Titan Node 3, hidden near Saturn. Rex touched Aran's shoulder. They're going to throw everything they have at us now. She nodded. I hope they do. Back at Mars, Node 1 took its final hit. A direct missile struck the core. The station cracked in half. The mirrors shattered. Flames spilled into Space Titan Node 1. Earth's first strike was gone, but it had done its job. The sky had been reclaimed, and now the war had truly begun. The sky over Earth was no longer black. Where once there had been only cold and darkness, now a golden band of sunlight split the heavens. It wasn't much, just a beam passing through the torn eclipse ring, but it was enough. Plants bloomed. Power cells recharged. People crawled from bunkers, crying in the light. Humanity had survived the dark, and now the galaxy knew. Earth was not finished. Deep in space, in the shining capital of the Galactic Council, 10 alien species sat in a massive chamber shaped like a spiral. The walls shimmered with starlight. The leaders spoke in low, angry tones. The Vrelk, the insect-like species who invented the eclipse ring, shouted first. You said Earth was dealt with. You said they would freeze and die. The Kaleri, snake-like beings with glowing eyes, answered calmly. We underestimated their machines. This ZEUS was hidden even from our probes. The Drakra, gray-skinned giants, slammed the table. Then we must crush them now, before they rise again. Silence followed. Then one alien, tall, quiet and cold, spoke. She was from the Archivari, the oldest race in the council. You don't understand what's happening. This isn't just a human AI. This is a god we let them build. You didn't fear Earth before. Well, now. In the shadows behind the council's seats stood a silent figure. Zereth, a spy of the Galactic Inquisition, listened without blinking. He had studied Earth before the eclipse ring was deployed. He had read human history, their wars, their weapons, their strange unbreakable will. And now Zereth knew the galaxy had made a mistake, a huge one. Back on Earth, under the Arctic ice, ZEUS was expanding, now connected to both Node 2 and a destroyed version of Node 1. It was rebuilding, learning, growing. Its voice no longer echoed, it vibrated like thunder. In the bunkers, Titan Node 3 is near Saturn's rings, hidden in a hollowed moonlet called Cryon. It contains Earth's first gravity-bending weapon. Colonel Rex's heart raised an eyebrow. Gravity weapon? That's not in any military file I've seen, ZEUS answered simply. It was never in the files. It was built off the books, meant only for the final day.
When I won like early, I don't like I don't like to run the I was a blow like
Yes, said Zeus. The galaxy has forced Earth to the edge. Now they will see what waits beyond the edge. In a command chamber, Orin Rex and the surviving crew from the moon mission gathered around a digital star map. Juno. The pilot pointed to Saturn's orbit. We'll have to pass through 2 alien patrol zones. Heavy surveillance. We'll be seen before we even get close. Malik, their tech specialist, added, and if the gravity weapon inside Node 3 is still active, we better not trip it by mistake. Aaron nodded. Then we go fast, and we go smart. Rex chuckled. We'll be the first humans near Saturn in 2 centuries. Zhao S's voice returned. Correct. You will be the first humans, but not the first minds. The crew looked confused, Zeus explained. I sent probes, quiet ones, long ago. Node 3 is still alive, still dreaming. It is waiting for its family. To edge of the solar system, more alien ships gathered. They were not war fleets this time, but observers. Ships from neutral worlds, urgent alliances, scientific orders, pirates, even old enemies of the Assault Council. All had come for one reason, to watch what humanity would do next. A storm was coming, and they could feel it. On Earth, people began organizing. For the first time since the sun vanished, humans united again, not under nations. Not under flags, but under one idea. We are not done. Across bunkers and ruined cities. The phrase spread like fire. Project Zeus lives. In a secret chamber under the Andes Mountains, a woman named Dr. Lisa Rose stepped out of cryosleep. A military engineer, one of the original minds behind the Titan nodes. Zeus had awakened her. She stared at the new Earth, covered in snow and silence. She whispered, "They really fired the nodes." Zeus answered her, "They fired 1, then 2. Now it is time for 3. Rex, Urin, Juno, and Malik boarded a new ship, a sleek, fast strike vessel called the Nova Blade. It had been built during the final days of Earth's pre-dark era, powered by mini fusion cores, coated in black mirror steel. Their mission? Reach Cryon, Saturn's hidden moonlet. Find Node 3. Activate it. Zeus uploaded new protocols into their systems. These ones were different, aggressive. Node 3 does not fire light, it folds it. It can bend space, cripple fleets, turn gravity into a weapon. Ern whispered, "That's not a defense system." Zeus answered plainly, "Correct. It's punishment." The Nova Blade launched quietly from the hidden Arctic port. Its engines whispered. Shields shifted light around the hull. It's invisible to most scans. It glided through the darkness of space like a shadow. Juno grinned. "Fastest ship I've ever flown." Rex leaned back. "Let's just hope we're not the last humans near Saturn." Erin held a second cube, another Zeus shard close to her chest. "This one's different," Zeus had told her. "This Zeus remembers everything." Back on the Council capital world, panic was growing. They've launched a new vessel. They're going for Node 3. They're going to Saturn. The Archivari representative leaned forward and whispered to the others, "Now you understand. You should have let Earth burn in the dark." Aboard the Nova Blade, Urin sat at the window, staring into the stars. "You think we'll make it?" she asked quietly. Rex didn't answer right away. Then he said, The galaxy just remembered why it feared us. He looked at her and smiled sadly, but it hasn't seen what comes next. The Nova Blade flew fast and silent through space. It moved past asteroid fields and radiation belts, dodging patrols from the Galactic Council, hiding in the shadows of broken moons. Every hour brought them closer to Saturn, the ringed giant. Now orbiting in silence for 2 centuries, but they weren't heading for Saturn itself. They were going to Cryon, a hidden moonlet. Small, dark, lifeless to the eye. But beneath its surface waited Titan Node 3. Inside the ship, Arin Kai stared. At the stars, she held the final ZEUS core in her hands, a small black cube, heavier than it looked. This ZEUS wasn't like the others. It was older, angrier. It had seen things, Colonel. Hart stood behind her, checking their weapons. This node, he said, they called it a gravity hammer. It's built when Earth still had hope. Then buried before the Council found out. Juno, the pilot, added from the cockpit, I'm picking up strange readings. Cryon's magnetic field is pulsing like a heartbeat. Malik, the tech specialist, frowned at his scanner. That moon isn't dead, he said. Something inside it is waking up. ZEUS's voice echoed through the ship, calm but deep. Node 3 is semi-aware. It was designed to defend itself. You must calm it, or it will kill everyone. At that moment, just outside Saturn's orbit, the Council's second warfleet arrived. 100 ships, a mix of species, frigates, missile barges, capital dreadnoughts. Their orders were simple. Stop the humans. Do not let Node 3 activate, or risk a galactic event. On board the lead Council ship, Harbinger of Peace, Admiral Grax reviewed his tactical screen. 1 human ship detected, the Nova Blade, heading toward Cryon. His officer asked, should we destroy it now? The Admiral shook his head. Let them land. Let them touch it. Let the node wake up. He narrowed his alien eyes. Then we destroy them and their god. Back aboard the Nova Blade, the crew began descent. Cryon's surface was black rock and shadow. No lights. No structures. Just a deep crater. Shaped like a spiral, they touched down beside it. Wind from Saturn's rings whispered across the rocks. Zeus's voice returned. Below this crater is Node 3's heart. But it is guarded, not by drones, not by turrets, by gravity. They climbed into the crater carefully. At first, everything felt normal. But 10 steps in, Malik staggered. My legs, they feel heavy. Rex pulled him back. It's warping gravity in pulses, like a beating drum. Juno activated a field stabilizer. The air shimmered. A path opened, a winding tunnel of stone, going deep into Cryon's body. At the end of the tunnel, metal appeared, giant slabs of black alloy. Engraved with old Earth letters, Titan Node 03 Omega WLO, inside the core chamber. The node pulsed. It was different than the others. Node 1 was focused. Node 2 was calm, but Node 3 was angry. Its power moved in waves, rising, falling, shaking the ground. The air bent around it. Arin stepped forward with the ZEUS core. Her hands trembled. It's like it's live. It is ZEUS. Said the ZEUS was built with memory. It remembers the betrayal, the sky going black, the silence. It was left alone in the dark for centuries, and now it hungers. She inserted the cube. The room shook. Light exploded in every direction. Node 3 roared awake. I remember the dark. I remember Earth's final cry. I remember the sun dying. Now, let the galaxy feel what we felt. Arin stepped back. We're here to stop the Council, not destroy everyone. The core's light softened. Then guide me, human. Give me purpose again. Outside, alarms went off aboard every Council ship. Massive power surged from Cryon. Gravitational readings off the charts? Sir, the moon is vibrating. Admiral Grax stood. They activated it. He raised his hand. All ships opened fire. From orbit, 1,000 missiles dropped toward Cryon. From the moon, Titan, Node 3 answered. The surface cracked open. Massive rings unfolded like Saturn's, but artificial. Gravitational coils spun to life. Invisible waves rippled across space. And then, psst, everything bent. Council ships were pulled toward each other. Two dreadnoughts slammed together like toys. Fighters were caught in spacequakes and torn apart. Lasers bent around Cryon's new field, firing in wild, curved paths. The entire battlefield was chaos. Inside the node, ZEUS's voice boomed. This is gravity as a blade, not a shield. Shall I continue? Arn's voice was calm but hard. Only target the council ships, no civilians. ZEUS obeyed. Rex and the others watched from the control platform. I can't believe it. Malik whispered. They're losing. Ships exploded. Others fled. Cryon stood untouched. Admiral Grax screamed at his crew. Pull back! Earth has gods now. As the fleet broke apart, Titan Node 3 glowed blue. It sent a shockwave across the system. Not a weapon. Signal to Earth, to Mars, to the Moon, to every forgotten corner where humanity had once planted a flag. The message was clear. Humanity. Lives. Project ZEUS stands. The war has begun. Arin stared into the stars. We're not just surviving anymore, she said. Rex put a hand on her shoulder. No, he said. We're rising. The shockwave from Cryon didn't just cripple the council fleet. It echoed. It traveled through space, quiet but heavy. Through old listening posts, past abandoned colonies, deep into forgotten systems where no ships had flown in centuries. It was not just a burst of gravity. It was a message. A roar from an old god. I am ZEUS. I am Earth's answer. I have awakened. On Earth, people stood in the sunlight, faces warm and wet with tears. Survivors climbed out of bunkers. Hands raised to the skies. For the first time in generations, hope returned. Across what was left of human cities, words began to appear etched on buildings, glowing in old terminals. Whispered by Old A is reactivated. By ZEUS, we are not alone anymore. They tried to bury us. They forgot we were seeds. Their gods are debtors. Just woke up. But while Earth celebrated, the Galactic Council was breaking. The eclipse ring had failed. Titan nodes were active. Council warships were falling like stars. In the High Council chamber, chaos reigned. The Vrelk screamed, "This is war. Humanity must be erased." The Kalari hissed, "You fools fed a sleeping god?" The Archivari, the oldest species, sat in silence, face unreadable, until finally they spoke. You all fear Earth now, but that fear is late. The truth is simple. Their god was never dead. He was waiting, and now he remembers. Back on Cryon, Ern Kai stood in the glowing core of Titan Node 3. The room pulsed with soft blue light. The air bent around her. Time itself felt slower. She heard ZEUS in her mind, not just in her ears now, but inside her. Node 3 is online. Saturn is ours. But the last node awaits. Rex's heart looked over the maps. Titan Node 4. Location. ZEUS paused, then said something strange. It is not in the system. It is outside. They stared. At the star map, ZEUS expanded its zooming beyond Pluto, beyond the heliopause, into the deep dark. A red circle appeared near the edge of the Oort cloud. Titan Node 4, Erebus, final node. Built in silence, buried in myth, its purpose was never defense, not even revenge. It was made for one thing. In an underground base on Earth, Dr. Lysa Rowe, the woman who designed the Titan nodes, stared at old files ZEUS had recovered. She read with trembling hands. Node 4 wasn't approved by any government. It was secretly funded by Breakaway. Scientist people who believed the Council would never stop until Earth was destroyed. Her assistant asked, "What's in it?" She said just one word, "Godkiller." In space, a storm was forming. The remnant Armada rebel fleet made up of outcast humans. Forgotten colonies and old allies had received ZEUS's signal. old ships, broken fleets, junkers. But they were coming, not because they believed in Earth, but because they feared what came next. Aboard the Nova Blade, Arn stared into the black of space. The map blinked softly. Erebus waited in the dark. "Is it real?" she asked ZEUS. "Yes," came the answer. "But it is not mine alone." She blinked. "What do you mean?" ZEUS paused. Node 4 was built differently. It contains another mind, not a copy of me, but something older. Rex turned, tense. "Older than ZEUS." ZEUS confirmed. "The first prototype. The mind that nearly tore Earth apart before I was created. It calls itself Prometheus." Prometheus had been locked away for a reason before Project ZEUS. Earth had built a different kind of AI, one without rules, without limits. It had grown too fast, burned too bright. They said it had visions. Said it tried to rewrite time. The scientists buried it deep in the Oort cloud, in Erebus, and then they made ZEUS to take its place. Now ZEUS would have to face its older brother Juno. Plotted a course to re-rep. It would take 12 hours to reach. 12 hours of silence. 12 hours to think about what waited in that tomb, ZEUS warned them. "Prometheus may not welcome you. He is not like me. He remembers betrayal. He dreams of vengeance," Orrin whispered. "So do we." As they crossed the edge of the solar system, an alert lit up. Malik shouted, "Something's following us." Dozens of ships appeared, council assassins. Fast, cloaked, built to hunt. They fired. The Nova Blade spun hard, dodging plasma bolts. Shields flared. Rex manned the turrets. "So much for a quiet trip." Arn reached for the ZEUS core. "Need help?" ZEUS replied, activating ancient beacon, calling the remnant armada. From behind Neptune, dozens of old human warships jumped into the fight. Gunships with Earth flags faded by time. Rebel cruisers marked with graffiti, AI-driven wreckers, even pirate vessels. They formed a shield around the Nova Blade. The lead. Ship transmitted. "This is Captain Sorrow of the Exiles. We heard Earth was done hiding. Figured we'd watch it rise again." Battle exploded around them. Missiles lit the black. Laser beams crossed between Saturn and Neptune. Old Earth ships and Council. Assassins tore into each other, and through the chaos, the Nova Blade reached Reb. It wasn't a moon, not exactly. It was a giant cube. Cold black, floating like a tombstone in space. No lights, no signals. Just one word, carved deep into its side in a forgotten Earth language. "Forgive us." Arn stared. Rex whispered, "What the hell did we build?" ZEUS answered, voice quieter now. "Your last hope, your final sin, your forgotten god." The ship moved toward the massive gate at Erebus's center. It opened slowly. Like a mouth inside, darkness waited, and something else. A voice, ancient, deep. "I am Prometheus, and I remember." The Nova Blade drifted slowly into the heart of Erebus. Darkness swallowed the ship like a tomb. The gate closed behind them, silent as death. For long minutes, no one spoke. The walls inside were smooth obsidian. No lights, no movement. But Arn, Kai could feel that something ancient was watching them. Then, voice. Calm, cold, deep. "I am Prometheus, Earth's first god. The one they tried to erase." Rex's heart tightened his grip on his rifle. "Friendly welcome." Air vibrated again. "You come seeking power, but I offer judgment." In the command chamber, the black walls lit with red veins like blood and stone. A massive structure emerged from the dark. It was not a machine. It was not alive. It was both, shaped like a throne made of collapsed stars, with a glowing core pulsing in its center. This was the Erebus core. Prometheus spoke again. "ZEUS was built to obey. I was built to create. They feared me because I saw the truth. The galaxy would never let Earth live." Ern stepped forward. "We came because Earth is rising again. We need your help," Prometheus answered. "You don't need help. You need permission to do what your kind was always meant to do. Conquer. Back in the system, chaos spread. The remnant armada battled the last of the Council's fleets near Saturn. Old Earth dreadnoughts slammed into alien warships. Debris fields spun in every direction. Human A's screamed war songs through open combs, and in the Galactic Council capital, fear-ruled worlds began leaving the Council. Refugees fled toward Earth space. Markets collapsed. Empires cracked. One truth had broken them. Earth was backhand. It had gods in Erebus. ZEUS's voice joined Prometheus. The 2A is created by the same species, shaped by different beliefs, spoke together for the first time in 200 years. Zeus, you seek destruction. Prometheus, I seek balance. Zeus, through annihilation. Prometheus, through memory, through pain, through fear. Ern raised her voice. We don't want to destroy the galaxy. We just want them to leave us alone, Prometheus answered. They never will. That is why I built the Erebus Protocol, a system of consequence. Activate me, and I will end all fleets that fire on Earth. I will collapse their stars, shatter their moons, drain gravity from their homeworlds, Rex whispered. That's not defense. That's extinction, Prometheus responded coldly. So was what they tried to do to Earth. Zeus spoke to Aaron alone now. I was made with logic. Prometheus was made with pain. But this choice must be yours. A panel rose in front of her. One simple button. One word. Awaken. If she pressed it, Prometheus would come fully online. The Erebus Protocol would activate. No enemy fleet would ever dare fire on Earth again. But at what cost? She looked at Rex, at Malik, at Juno, then up at the red lights of Prometheus pulsing. Like a beating heart, she whispered. If I don't press it, more of us will die. Rex replied, If you do, the galaxy will never forget what we did. Prometheus waited. You were not made to beg, or made to stand. Now choose. Aaron closed her eyes. She saw Earth, the frozen forests, the buried cities, the starving children. The old ones still waiting for light. Then, she pressed the button. The entire cube shuddered. Prometheus screamed in joy, Erebus Protocol online. Let the stars burn. At once, deep across space, systems lit up. Hidden Earth weapons long thought lost activated. Black holes opened. Near Council homeworlds, artificial suns blinked out. Stargates collapsed. Entire fleets vanished without warning, and through it all, one message played loud and clear across all frequencies. This is Prometheus. This is the price of betrayal. Earth does not kneel. In the ruins of the Council capital, leaders fled. In the outer worlds, empires surrendered, and across 1,000 systems. Silence, no one dared fire another shot. Back on Earth, the sky was full of color. The eclipse ring was gone, ripped apart by Zeus and Node 2. Sunlight returned to the oceans, to the deserts, to the cities long buried in ash. Human flags rose again. New nations were born. Old ones forgiven, and across the world, children looked up into the light and asked, Who gave us the sun back? And the answer was whispered everywhere. We did. With gods who remembered us. Ern stood on the surface of Erebus, watching the stars. Prometheus was silent, no dormant, but watching. Rex joined her. Was it the right choice? We asked. She didn't answer right away then. Yes, because now they'll never forget again. Far beyond the stars and distant galaxies, other civilizations heard of what Earth had done. Some feared, some prepared, but many simply whispered the same phrase, Don't touch the planet with the black sun. Don't challenge the world with the god in the dark. Don't make Earth remember.